What is up, Earthnoids and Spacenoids? I am just a simple new type, and in this episode, we are diving into a relatively new manga titled Mobile Suit Gundam Rust Horizon. In this manga, we will meet Nanao and Leo of EFF's McCarran base. Leo is a new commander, but his wits that he learned in the private sector helps him get the upper hand. We will also explore Las Vegas during the 1-year war. Spoiler alert, it's the same. It's the same as now. So let's get into this. Universal Century 0079, Grand Canyon. A young EFF soldier is fixing up a GM ground type while listening to Giran Zagbi give his speech during Garma's funeral. He calls Giran an idiot. You know this story by now. Humans go to space, Spacenoids begin fighting with Earthnoids, the two sides reach a stalemate. We hear the internal monologue of our main character, Nanao, who is now working on a Type 61 tank. He volunteered for the army when the war broke out, despite his parents' protest. He believed that there were times when he could overcome fate, but after enduring the stalemate, he realized how wrong he was. Ensign Feld asks if the tank is good to go. The team is getting a new commander and they are prepping to rendezvous with them. Lieutenant Clay begins yelling into the radio. The Salamis drop capsule that was carrying the new commander was attacked. Their rendezvous has become a rescue mission. It fell down in Zeon territory. They chit-chat about how either their new commander is super lucky or he is one hell of a commander to be able to survive. Nanao wonders if the rumors of their new commander being related to General Revel is true. Ensign Feld says that he is Revel's son-in-law who took the Revel name. The team stops. They spot heat signatures, but it is only 3 people on horseback with vintage rifles. There are anarchists that live in the region. They aren't hostile. They inform the crew that they know of the location of the downed pod and there are Zaku's heading towards it. They will tell the team the location if they give them something in return. Lieutenant Clay offers 10 rations. The anarchists want 20, they agree on 15. Nanao gives them the rations, and the anarchist guides them to the location. They take him to Commander Leo Baranarquez, who is badly injured, but not in critical condition. Unfortunately, Zeon soldiers got to him first. He talks shit and says he is grateful for the white base crew for killing Garma. The Zeon soldiers suggest he watches his mouth. They administer the commander drugs, and they start to kick in while the team searches EFF cargo. The EFF pod is surrounded by 3 Zaku 2s and 1 Zaku 2 desert type. The commander Zaku is rocking a 6-barrel Gatling gun. The EFF squad scouts out 4 mobile suits. They only have 2 GMs and won't be able to hold their own if they are attacked. They can't call for backup because of Minovsky particle density, so they are on their own. Suddenly, a Lugan starts approaching their location. They have no choice but to now make a move. Feld and Nanao get into the Type 61 tank. Zhu and Lieutenant Clay get into the GMs, and they take out the Lugan. Zeon now knows that EFF is approaching them. They get into the Zakus. They begin attacking Zeon, but they are well fortified. The Zakus are able to take out one of the GM's arms. As expected, things aren't looking good for EFF. Nanao and Feld in the Type 61 tank heads to the ledge to get an attack, but one Zaku takes out their treads. Nanao goes out to fix it when the anarchists approach them. He wonders why they didn't run away. He calls Nanao a fine soldier and takes his comms. He says that he is actually Commander Leo and that the injured man is actually the pilot pretending to be the commander. They are all skeptical, but Commander Leo is an EFF Nepo baby. He didn't earn his rank, and he doesn't care about pride. Wait, what? A Japanese writer writing a character without a great sense of pride? What is happening here? What is this? It is written by Hiroyuki Yoshino, a Gundam writer and writer of My Hime. Oh man, does anyone remember My Hime? That's a throwback. Because of this, he treats everyone like an equal. The team likes his attitude. He orders Lieutenant Clay and Zhu to split up. Nanao notices that the commander's hand is trembling. 2 Zakus fall into the commander's trap. They set off 2 rounds of explosives, which cause the mobile suit to fall. That is when 1 GM fires and takes down 2 units. Nanao is amazed by his command skills. 1 GM kites a Zaku around a boulder, and the 2 GMs are able to sandwich the Zaku and take it out. 1 more to go. They take out the last one relatively easy as it is all alone. Nanao is taken aback. He wonders about the explosives. Leo tells Nanao that this was an old mine since the Anno Domini days and knows that there are explosives everywhere. He worked with the locals of the area to learn this. He says, by the way, we're going to have to give a lot of rations to the locals. Nanao then wonders, why did the Zaku give up its 120mm machine gun after falling down? Commander Leo tells them that there is an exploit back in the days of this being a mobile worker, and its ANBAC system messes up on certain inclines. Hiroyuki Yoshino did their research as we saw a similar bug play out in our coverage of developers Mobile Suit Gundam before the 1-year war. In this manga, we saw the development of the first Zaku, which did experience this bug. Commander Leo reintroduces himself to the team. Nanao notes that this is a huge step forward in their destinies. We cut to December of UC-0079, Cape Kennedy Spaceport. A scarred Zeon officer named Theo Grand and his men stop Commander Leo and his team. They happen to be transporting Isolina's dead body. Theo says to hand over the womb in which Garma's imperial children are to be conceived. So it's gonna be that type of manga. Okay. As they have their standoff, suddenly a beam saber comes blasting into the base. They look out to the RX-78-2 Gundam. We head to the moon, Von Braun City, 1 week earlier before Leo was assigned to the team. Leo is talking to his friend Keats. He and his family never expected this out of him, but Leo never hesitated to join EFF. Leo's daughter, Alyssa, comes to greet him. She is suffering from an illness that keeps her in a wheelchair, but the low gravity of the moon allows her to move around more so than if she was in gravity, which makes me think that most paraplegics in Universal Century are probably Spacenoids. She doesn't want her father to head to Earth, but he promises her he will be back in no time. He heads out to become the new commander of McCarran EFF Base. The Las Vegas airport is called McCarran, and there is a historical airfield called McCarran in Vegas. But the Air Force Base in Vegas is called Nellis. So my question is, what happened to Nellis Air Force Base in the UC timeline? In the background is the Vegas Strip, so I assume this is McCarran Airport repurposed as a base. Commander Bertram and Leo share the same rank, but Bertram outranks him due to seniority. He praises Leo for his actions, but then chastises him for giving supplies to the locals to help them out with the mines. Bertram tells Leo that this base was recently recaptured by Zeon after the chaos caused by Garma's death. Because of this, resources are quite slim. He gives Leo their first mission. Nanao and Lieutenant Zhu are arguing in the hangar with some of the mechanics. Zhu straight up looks like Banshee from X-Men. They aren't going to fix the GM anytime soon, as they are low on standard parts currently. They do have parts for the Type 61 tanks, so they will help with those repairs at least. Nanao still doesn't really know how he feels about the new commander, but that is what Zhu likes about him. He seems different from the rest of the COs. It seems Feld doesn't really like him, according to Zhu. Feld is talking to the base therapist, Miss Elizabeth. She thinks he has a deep hatred for the commander, but he says it is more of a distrust after he originally hid his identity. It seems he is trying to convince her to give him some sedatives, but she ain't having it. Miss Elizabeth looks at a file on Commander Leo. The boys are gossiping about Commander Leo when he happens to walk up on them. He tells the team that training is canceled because they have a new mission. They are concerned because nothing is fixed yet, but their mission is simply to acquire supplies that they recently lost. It's time to hit the Vegas Strip. Zhu tells Leo that Vegas hasn't really changed since the Anno Domini calendar. It is still a place of sin. It seems when Vegas was occupied by Zeon, the city financially wrung them dry. However, now that EFF has taken control, the city will most likely do the same to EFF. Never change, Vegas. Never change. The soldiers tell Leo to watch out for Bertram and reminds him that this isn't the private sector, and COs can order you to die. Leo wonders if he should do a little bit more bootlicking, but Zhu tells him not to bootlick, but rather monitor and strike when the iron is hot. Or, as Zhu puts it, make sure you come out 100% on top for you and no one else. Nanao wonders how they are going to get supplies, and they tell him that all towns have someone that works with the military base accountant with procurement. They are going to find that person. Back at the base, Bertram is talking to the division accountant, Lieutenant Elena Morwin. She says that there is no way the townsfolk will give him the supplies with the budget that they provided. It is clear he is setting up Leo to fail and wants him to come back groveling at his feet. The team heads to the Mandalay Bay, where Leo has an appointment with Mr. Vellum, who runs the town. Vegas? Ran by the mob? Who would have thought? Leo tells his men that the contacts EFF gave him obviously wouldn't work with their budget, so he pulled a few strings. The boys are very nervous. They meet with Vellum. He says that he would never give Leo the time of day, but it seems that Luo and co. vouched for him. Vellum wants to know how the hell Luo and co. are somehow in debt to him. Remember, Luo and co. is a giant enterprise that helps smuggle people on and off Earth, will play a bigger role when we eventually get to narrative. Leo says he helped Luo and co. when he was a civilian. Vellum tells him it will be difficult to procure all the items that he needs, but perhaps if Leo helps him handle a situation they have been dealing with, they may be able to come to an agreement. We cut to the Hoover Dam, 38 miles outside of Vegas. A goof is guarding the dam while Zeon soldiers get drunk. According to Vellum, a mix of Zeon deserters and Vegas degenerates have worked together to occupy the Hoover Dam, which provides most of the power to Vegas. If Leo wants supplies, he needs these degenerates to disappear. Since they have a goof, they don't want to get in close, as it is a close combat beast. But if they snipe from afar, they risk hitting the dam, which isn't an option. They certainly do not have the upper hand in this situation. Commander Leo suddenly gets an idea. And that will do it for this episode. The end of the first issue where they skip to the future leaves me with so many questions, and I am quite captivated. Why does Zeon want a dead Isolina womb? Why? Like Gundam Origin, this manga also takes advantage of its environment. I believe that Vegas wouldn't really change and would be completely the same in Universal Century hundreds of years later. Next time, we will see Leo's team finish their mission. We will see a new mobile suit that looks like a Gundam by Zeon, and we will interrogate a Zeon soldier that is straight up Butcher from the boys. But that will do it for now, new types. When in doubt, keep the womb alive. Nope, I regret saying it. Peace.